Unaonekana ukweli. Yo kweli?
Cool, yes.
Jo.
Ongea. Maoni.
Si mind kuifanya tena kaishafanywa before na siogopi kwa wa kwanza atakani kifo. Yo, Rebia na Tiza hapa Ankare na nasema siogopi kuifanya tena kaishafanywa before na siogopi kwa wa kwanza atakani kifo. Peace.
Maoni pia.
Maoni wanataka kusikia nini? Hey, yaani bwana, mimi I'm suffering from nostalgia kwa sababu Slim Shaka amenikumbusha nini? Ayubu Ogada. Kuna wakati karibu Ayubu Ogada akuja kwa show yangu fulani. I was actually to invite him for orphanage experience. Alafu nikakosa pesa ya kunilipia ticket kutoka Kisumu mpaka Nairobi. Na hivyo ndio hiyo shughuli ilikatika, but you know, I feel like Slim ametupea like hizo intimate sessions manze, like na that's a beautiful thing. I think we should honor some of these people more because I feel like Ayubu Ogada was a bridge. Alikuwa bridge between the old and the new. You know, the old Nyatiti players and Luo singers, unajua, and the new generation, because the new generation imelearn kutoka kwake, right? And for me, he's as legendary as legends go. So I'm just glad to have been here to experience this, for sure. Asante sana.
The stage is hot. How did you guys find the performances today? They were good? So I love great performances. Have you ever seen a performance so good, it captures the very fabric of your being, and it blurs the line between reality and fantasy? A performance that deserves multiple awards. I recently witnessed such a performance, and it deserved Oscars. Best Performance of the Year, Best Actor of the Year, Most Thought-Provoking Show of the Year. It was a play about two characters that loved going to poetry shows and plays. But one didn't know that she was getting played and that the award she had been signed up for was Most Delulu and Most Broken-Hearted of 2023. I must confess, watching it play out was riveting. The antagonist was charismatic. They exuded this confidence that the damsel could not resist. They always found a way to make her laugh. And so she fell for their charm and into their arms. Arms that weren't really arms, but a spider's legs that had laid fruit on an intricately woven web. And thus she was trapped, wrapped like a housefly, intoxicated by the tarantula's venom that rendered her immobile, and her only option was consumption by the spider. The little housefly was so intoxicated, she thought the fangs were just elongated teeth, and that the pain was pleasure from the bloodstream that put poison, and that the pain was pleasure from the love bite that put poison into her bloodstream, lulling her immune system into some kind of fever dream so that it wouldn't scream, alerting her that she was in peril and needed to live if she wanted to live. The little housefly was so blinded by lust. And when she saw the spider looking into her eyes, she thought, this spider must love me, all right. But she couldn't see the malice behind that smile, which was actually more of a smirk, as it bragged to its spider friends how it captured a rare housefly that was so hard to get and turned her into a conquest. The little housefly was so blinded by lust, she couldn't see the spider was sucking her dry, drop by drop, draining her life. The torture was sweet. To the spider that liked to tease, it got off on it. That's how it got its release. Seeing the fly hot and bothered, squirming, begging to be set free. So let's give a round of applause to the spider, master puppeteer, pulling the strings that doom every housefly to a life of miserable endings. Thank you.
Unasalimika kama nyimi kwa nini? Hola. Okay, goes with it. God is good. So, uko Nairobi na unafikiria hivyo first of all. Okay. If you get easily offended and oops, and the most sincerest of oops, to clean up after God is interesting. The immortality of his actions puts mere humans on pedestals of invincible actions, invisible to mortal eyes but staring holes through souls. It is sacrilege to correct he who can never be wrong. It is blasphemous to wear his dirty linen in the presence of his believers. He sits back as his people suffer to test and strengthen their faith, a sadomasochist who is stand on and glorified by their struggle. His all agreements in their sweat, his dust crackles for their tears, his altar oozes with his blood, with their blood. To clean up after God is unholy. It negates his being. It casts doubts on his immaculateness. To clean up after God is messy. The vastness of his eternal actions reverberate with trauma. It scorches and scathes ephemeral souls. To clean up after God is to prove he behaves badly. It is to acknowledge he abuses his powers, corrupts and harms. It is to put mortal actions, abilities and consequences with his. It is to call him out and judge him in human standards, to hold him accountable for his supreme powers and intentions, to put a bound on his limitlessness, and to restrain him with the powers we've given him. Intermission. Can an omnipotent God create a rock so heavy that even he cannot lift it? It is weird to clean up after a God who knows everything but to clean up after himself, to cash in his unwanted blessings, to discard his uncollected curses, to clear his unread prayers, a bureaucratic God who is sustained by bureaucracy, by diplomacy and absence. To clean up after an omnipresent God is tasking. You can't be everywhere at once like he is. You can't ever stop, for he never stops. His shadows are unforgiving and burning to the touch. To clean up after God is to carry sand to the beach. Intermission. He says, I am whom I am, with his face turned away from us, acknowledging his actions but never taking responsibility.
So Slim Shaka's performance is inspired by the legendary Job Seda, Elias Ayub Bogada's God Rassi's song, lyricism, Africanism, and the flair on the strings of the Titian music, and the expression that his poetry will now be showcased on this particular stage because it exemplifies the true essence of what it means to belong as an African, as a Pan-African, and as a Kenyan, and as someone who has based all his performances as the 65th Slam Africa champion, and who came 7th at the last year's World Poetry Slam Championships in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And I'm almost done. So Slim Shaka, bases again his poetry on African history and has created a 16-minute showcase, actually. 16 minutes poetry showcase, and the performance is rooted in African history and World War I. And he will showcase a concept he has been developing, since his participation at the World Poetry Slam Championships in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So let's give it up one more time for Slim Shaka. I love the love, and I leave the stage. He'll do a piece right now, and then I'll come and have a conversation with him. Soulful talk, okay? So that all of you will understand who is behind the man standing here today. So I'll have one-on-one conversation with him, and then now we'll dive right into the rest of his poetry performance. So let's welcome Slim Shaka once more. Give us what he deserves.
I move for the masses. With is a different case, though. I disgrace fake friendship. Judas, if you say so. I prefer solitude. Burning them bridges is how I set my soul on fire. Free cookadoodle-doos like the soul messiah. I am attracted to a just chant down the system like Wangare Maathai. I am a poet who's crazy driven. Locomotive, I am a tech on tar. A tech totar, I'm a luo omera. I am with class. Like cheers with glass, the grass seems greener when I write. I graze like a goat in my pen. I color the world in my ink. King Shaka thunder when I blinky. Bill Amak Mende, real in these streets. Now, my state of mind is oversized, but being real is a misfit. So I reel to grams fit my poetry. Snakes through your veins like the thing with fangs. But the people love it. It's a thing with fans, a thing for hearts. It's a thing for blood. Cannot be questioned by a thing with blood. But one statement defines me. I'm just a poet, but the excellence precedes me. A just poet. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I've never seen this many people in my life. The flattery. So, MC, come let's have that conversation, and then I'll be delving into just 16-minute set, short set. Ayub is a legend, and a lot of people know Ayub because of his music. But then I got the privilege to meet those who shared a personal space with Ayub. And this month I've been listening to lots and lots of exclusive interviews done by Ayub in his home in Nyahera with my sound designer, shout out to Pablo. And then listening to how Ayub was and how he communicated and just how much he cared for this country and how much he cared for Africa, we decided, you know what, let's do something. So it is me trying to have my poetry handheld by whatever messages Ayub was giving in the interviews. So you will pardon us because there are some of the interviews that are not very clear. So this involves a lot of listening. Those who have been to my shows of A Dying Breed, now it's me marrying the two. So this is not me telling you who Ayub is, but this is me trying to describe or expound what Ayub stood for. So in honor of Ayub, he loved community. So whenever he would want to sing, he would involve everyone. So here's your opportunity to croak with me. You can croak with me. Ayub would love it. He was very particular with camera people who pretend like they don't exist. So camera people, you're also required to sing along with me. We are croaking to fame. Please join me. Aye, 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 aye. Aye, 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 aye.
Can you take your fingers off your cameras and sing with me? Aye, aye. Okay, keep your cameras running. Now sing. Because music, in my community, in Africa, general, even everywhere in the world, it's a community project. So, I bring you the song. Now, sing.
They ask, what makes a great poet? How are you able to stand on stage and transform with such grandeur in a world that's shit, like the world ain't shit? I say to them, here is my bitterness, to give you a perfect expression of this sensuous delight. I, a pathetic aesthetic. I, a bottled chaos exploding on stage. Depression, anxiety, in pretty colors. My interior sentiments explode and erupt in beautiful colors. Now you see, violence is every characteristic of every state. Violence of your personality. You are a pilot. You could just fly into vulnerability.
So I'm not a teacher. When I play music, I close my eyes and I go inside my soul. Every time I play a song, I give you part of my life. So eventually, you must die, because I've given you everything.
A broken heart is a sweet thing to flavor your heart with the miseries. Honey, you turn it a little bit. Hey, rudisha tu nyuma kidogo tu.
You must die, because I've given you everything.
Wewe. Ngoja kidogo. Yo, I'm not a rapper, but for Ayub. Make a poet look good.
So I'm not a teacher. When I play music, I close my eyes and I go inside my soul. Every time I play a song, I give you part of my life. So eventually, you must die, because I've given you everything.
A broken heart is a sweet thing to fill my heart. Wacha iende. You don't force things. Hey. You don't force things. Shikilia yo kitu. Now, I'm storytelling. Yo, nilipanga hii kitu, nilirehas, nikarehas, ikanipata nga. Now, the interesting with Ayub was whenever he created beautiful music. By the way, we created this one for about 9.5 hours. I am a little bit disappointed I didn't hack it, but it's okay. So, there's this one story that I was given. BBC was impressed with Ayub. So they sent a super producer. And they were like, we want you to go down to Africa. No, they were like, Ayub, come. We want to record something amazing with you. Come record in a wonderful studio. We have a Grammy-winning producer. Ayub was like, no, if you want to record, you come to Africa. So eventually, they paid the flight ticket. This guy came to Africa and was like, okay, I'm going to meet Ayub in his home. I was like, okay, Ayub, can we record? Ayub was like, let's wait for the zone. Let's wait for the zone. They wait, day 1, day 2, day 3. This guy's like, yo, Ayub, I have a lot to do back in England. Can we do this thing? Ayub is like, chill, relax, you're in Africa. We're waiting for the zone. And then this guy waits for over a week and is like, yo, guys, I don't think this guy is ready. Book me a flight, I'm coming back home. That same day, Ayub wakes him up early in the morning. It's like, wake up, one, let's go and record. Then he takes him to the bush, and then they record. So, Ayub is spontaneous like that. Whenever the vibe comes, Ayub would do it. So slowly, I started to learn the spontaneity of art, and all this complexity does not mean anything if it does not come from the soul. So they produce a very beautiful music, and then they send it to him, and they're so excited. They're like, Ayub, you need to listen to this song. And Ayub is like, no, let's take it to the people. And you know who these people are? The Changaden. So Ayub would take his new music to the Changaden, and they would buy Changa, and then he would have the people listen. So Ayub loved community, and I think this is one of the things that I have learned. Listening to all these hours and hours of interviews, I am no longer scared of messing up on stage. I know I'm king, I'm royalty, seventh in the world. Yeah, so slowly walking in the shoes of Ayub, I am not scared to be myself. I am not scared of making mistakes. I didn't think I would make a mistake today, but I learned nonetheless. And now we proceed.
Please, be careful with your life. There are so many dangerous things. But I just waiting for you. You are young, you're strong, and people want to use you. Simple as that. So be strong. Think deep. Do not think that those who pretend to be your friends are your friends.
Now put a gun to my head. Let the healing begin. For a sad poem runs these streets. Tell me, who wrote it? A poem so mysterious that it made Ouko's death exactly that. The poem with the list and names of the killed and maimed, of fighters got tamed, got damn. Who killed him? Rest in peace, Oro Jode. At the bottom of what these men love, political survival is curved into hate, their hearts, like a complex sculpture, living life in frames of a portrait lies, painted in the true colors of a sad poem. But who wrote it? Who ate us alive and still cried wolf? Who murdered our mothers and still played golf? Who kills the youth and blames it on the roof, and the rope takes away all our hope, turning youth into corpse? Tell me who? Who betrayed Dedan Kimathi? Who killed General Baimungi? Tell me who? Who let the dogs out to bite the truth? Who killed Tom Mboya? Who killed Tom Mboya's killer before justice made a kill? Tell me who? Who stole our land? Who killed Saitoti before the plane could land? Who kills and masks it? Who puts you in a white casket? Rest in peace, my professor. We have dead, death, aftermath processors. We have debt in depth. We have economic depressors. We have a sad poem, and it runs these streets. Tell me, who wrote it? Who wrote it? Who makes the truth a death trap? Who makes the youth look like crap? Who could make your heart stop? Now, who makes this feel dangerous? Tell me. Who tried to frame Okia Mutata? Who tried to kill Patrice Lumumba? Who kills and sings Hakuna Matata? Are they the ones that killed Jacob Juma? Or are they the ones that slap newborns with bills? The ones that don't care how it feels dying in a hospital where treatment is sealed, in a country where corruption seals everything Mwananchi depends on? Tell me. Who has the power to kill just for you? Who could kill you just for power? Who lies to the public? Who steals from the public? Who doesn't use what's public? Oh, who even kills in public? Reminds me of the sad faces. The faces you only see at places where death has touched what hearts loved. We are hopeful in our pain. No suffering in heaven. We're seeking healing in our graves. Like faith is a disease, for the blessed are the deceased, for they know what heaven is. Oh God, there's always something good about dying, nothing good. Something good about the dead, nothing good about dying. These bleeding wounds lose more than just blood. Dear Lord, fight back. Rest in peace, Pio Gama Pinto. Here, to seek freedom is to seek a different path where you meet death when you're awesome. Here, to seek freedom is to seek a different math. You find X, you find Malcolm. Homophones for homicide, a corrupted rhythm, a forced suicide. Sometimes it sounds like Baby Pendo, sometimes it sounds like Msando. It's a bad poem. Sad that he had to die in the line of duty. So you, be careful. You don't want to be thrown off a 4-story stanza. Be careful. You don't want your throat alliterated. Be careful. You don't want to be knocked unconscious by the same hands that swore to protect you. The hidden mystery of a deliberate irony. And no, you don't want metaphors shot right through your heart. Because this poem is for the wicked men who will use your tears to quench their thirst, for they never identify with the victims of their actions. Rest in peace, Lawyer Willie Kimani. You are remembered. For good leaders don't kill, just the opposite happens. It's sad that our politics, always in tune with those who grieve these killings, always in a perfect consonance with the rhythm of a sad poem, a poem written after every 5 years. You tell me, who wrote the sad poem? Who wrote the sad poem?
Ongeti mtu mmoja. Huyo nakadwa wanamari topeni. Ongeti mtu mmoja. Mother loves God. Where record leave us alone, please. We know how to look after our land. Do not come and teach us anymore. No more. No more.
No more sad poems. No more sad poems. But does life really give? What exactly does death take? Is the quality of existence dependent on the balance of give and take? Is there even a balance of give and take when so many take with so many takes? But whose perspective gives an even take when Congo says, death is for the vultures? We have been running to stay alive. We keep running. For death only comes when the chase is bored, when the chase is bored, we keep running. Until death ain't evil and life ain't on a shaky board, we keep running. Death, life, life, death, death, life. But if so, then our life is a wandering chronicle of a dying breed. No more sad poems. No more sad poems. No more sad poems. The Ethiopian Civil War, the bullet claimed 1 million lives. The resulting famine ridiculed the Sahara, called it a dry joke, and claimed 1 million more. 12th September 1974, the Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie lost his throne, but a boy in northern Ethiopia lost his throat in front of his family. And they wept and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. Grief turned them into prayer chatterbox. They sang to a rose whose warmth just departed. They sang to a mysterious and deathless paradox. Even in death, no more sad poems. No more sad poems. No more sad poems. When the hyenas eat us alive, we will laugh away into our graves. We will take out bullets from our wounds and give room for the next days. The children will swing in their parents' wheelchairs and paint a peaceful world on their cast. The dogs will play catch with the neighbor's skull. The naughty youth will watch horror movies from the CCTV footage. The naughty children will watch through the peeping hole that your bullet destroyed, that your bullet created. We will furnish cups from those tear gas canisters to replace the ones that the bullets destroyed. You see, fear can only mean so much to a people, but when all that's left is the reality of death, then life takes a mysterious form. No more sad poems. No more sad poems. No more sad poems.
Mostly women, children, even babies killed in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
Now, there's been shock in Eastern DR Congo, the killing in Beni of 26 people in an attack that's been blamed.
Young and old carry all they can. Fighting between Congolese soldiers and M23 driven out of the village of Shaka, captured by rebels. This day's mother of five.
It was very difficult for us to stay in our village.
Devastated.
Why
Why are you killing the earth?
I
am devastated.
Why
Why are you like this? I pray that you will smile, Congo. One day, you will smile, Congo. For the smiles on our children puts the enemy's blood on our swords. I pray that you will smile, Congo. I'm sorry, Congo. All for our smartphones, the dead bodies make them stupid rich. capitalism, dirty game. All they care is to be filthy rich. They say time heals all wounds, but tick-tock begs to differ. They tip-top elite grave diggers ignore history, lifting a bloody cloak, bleeding Congo. Apparently, that's the drip the world yearns for. Like the hundreds and hundreds of children whose hands were cut didn't bleed enough. Like Patrice Lumumba didn't bleed enough. Like Sylvanus Olympio didn't bleed enough. Like Thomas Sankara, Ibrahim Mainasara, Ahmed Abdallah didn't bleed enough. Like they didn't just sell Libya to the highest bidder just to guard a fee. They never cared about us. Don't cry, Congo. One day you will smile, Congo. For the smiles on our children puts the enemy's blood on our swords. One day you will smile, Congo. Don't cry, Congo. Your watery eyes tear us deep. I saw a photo of a baby breastfeed off his dead mother. Now, how do you take that in and still milk Congo? If we are as helpless as that may seem, then let them take it all. Let them take all that glitters, but our hearts remain gold. For what is the weight of the economy when our hearts are heavy with grief? Our faces break at the panic of disbelief that the world doesn't care and our leaders are careless. But all that we have are stories. Yesterday is gone. Stories are all that we had. Today, stories are all that we have. And when we are gone, stories are all that we will leave behind, that Congo has always been at war. Congo has always been at war until peace comes home. Congo has always been at war. For every piece that comes home, come home in one piece. Please, Mama prays. I pray that one day you will smile, Congo, for the smiles on our children puts the enemy's blood on our swords. Just one day. One day. One Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for experience.